A week before the Super Bowl, a lot of bets are being made, but in Minnesota, you can't place a sports bet on your phone legally. Amidst the chaos at the Capitol, there is a bipartisan push to change that. Republican Senate Leader Jeremy Miller unveiled the Minnesota Sports Betting Act 3.0. Earlier this morning, I spoke to him about it. Take a look. Well, joining us right now from Winona is Senator Jeremy Miller, who is currently the co-president of the Minnesota Senate. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right. Third time's the charm. This is the third time you've brought up your gambling bill, your sports betting bill, rather. Do you think this is the year it could pass?
I really do believe that this is the year that a sports betting bill can pass the Minnesota legislature. And I want to be clear, it's a budget year. The budget is the #1 priority. There is a significant amount of fraud, waste, and abuse that needs to be addressed in our state. So the budget and addressing that fraud, waste, and abuse is definitely priority #1. But one of the issues that I hear a lot about from the constituents that I have the great honor of representing is, hey, Jeremy, it is time to pass a sports betting bill here in Minnesota. And it's an issue I've been working on for many years. And I think we have all the stakeholders on board. We have a lot of bipartisan support. So I think this is the year that we can finally get it across the finish line.
I know that Senator Matt Klein of Mendota Heights, the DFL, has a bill too. Any major differences, or do you think you guys can work together? Because you both are very prominent senators who have, wide followings and people listen to you guys.
Well, I'm confident that Senator Klein and I can continue to work together to get this done. Really, what I'm trying to accomplish is I'm trying to bring together our stakeholders. And when you look at sports betting, there are 3 major stakeholders. It's the tribes, the horse racing tracks, and the charities that offer charitable gambling. Now, my preference, I would really like to see a free market approach and everyone get a sports betting license. So if I had it my way, that's what we would do. Unfortunately, we don't have the votes in the legislature to do that. So I wanted to look, what's the next best thing we can do where the tribes can get a license, but the tracks and the charities can also benefit. And I believe that the Minnesota Sports Betting Act 3.0 does exactly that. All the stakeholders benefit, and I'm confident we can get this done for our most important stakeholder, and that's the people of Minnesota who want to bet on sports.
All right, and best case scenario, when do you think it could become law? I mean, theoretically, if it does pass the legislature this summer?
I think it would probably take a little bit longer than this summer, although there have been some ideas. For example, Iowa already offers mobile betting. Maybe there's a way we could work together with the sports betting platforms that have a license in Iowa, and maybe we can get it going a little quicker here in Minnesota. But probably 1 year or so after the bill is passed, it would be up and running.
All right. The Senate has been a model in terms of demonstrating a willingness to work together. You are the co-president along with DFLer Senator Bobby Joe Champion. The new DFL senator from Northeast Minneapolis will get sworn in probably this week. Do you envision the transition going smoothly?
I think the transition will go smoothly, and I'm proud of the work that the Senate is doing this year. Things were not as bipartisan or cooperative towards the end of last session, and there was a lot of trust that was lost, but we are off to a much better start. And in my role as the co-president of the Senate, I'm really focused on not what's best for Republicans or what's best for Democrats, but what is best for the people of the state of Minnesota. And the best way to do that is to work together in a collaborative effort to try to get good things done for the people of Minnesota. And that's really what I'm focused on.
Let me ask you this. I know that you're the Senate, not the House, but the House is a mess. In order to get anything passed like this sports betting bill, it's got to go through the House and the Senate. Are you concerned with this complete stalemate in the House, no end in sight, that could kind of KO your bill and any other bills, even possibly a bonding bill, and maybe put a budget bill in trouble too, even though they've got to do that?
Yes, I'm concerned with what's going on over in the House. And Esme, it was your words that the House is a mess, but I think a lot of people agree with you that the House is a mess. And it's my hope that they can figure that out and we can try to move things forward, because you're absolutely right. Anything that passes the Senate also has to pass the Minnesota House of Representatives before it gets to the governor. So that's the budget, that's fraud, waste, and abuse, and of course that's sports betting. So I'm hoping they can get it together so we can get the work done for the people of Minnesota.
Okay, I know a lot of people are interested in this bill. I know there's also a lot of bipartisan opposition as well, but there also is a lot of bipartisan support. So we'll be following that, Senator Miller. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and hope you have a wonderful day.
You too, sir.